Now we are going to start seventh scenario of katakoda Docker's practical series. The seventh one is create data containers. In here, there are two ways of approaching stateful containers. That is, containers are store and persistent data for future use. This could be the container creating and storing data. For example, a database. Alternatively, it could be data requiring additional, for instance, the configuration or SSL certifications. This approach can also be used to backup data or debugging containers. In here, this scenario will introduce the advantage of using data containers. Now we are going to start this scenario. The first step is create container. This command is for create the container. Docker create container. What's happening there? The second step is copy files. With the container in place, we can now copy files from our local client directory into the container. To copy files into a container, you use the command docker.cp. The following command will copy the configure CUNF file into our data container and the directory config. The third step is mount volumes. from. The fourth step is export or import containers. Uh, this scenario has explained how to use data containers. Data containers are a great way of managing configuration data which can be used by other containers. The volumes from property allows us to gain access to other containers volumes which we can utilize for debugging or backup purpose. The eighth practical is creating networks between containers using links. Uh, Now I'm going to start that scenario. This scenario explores how to allow multiple containers to communicate with each other. The steps will explain how to connect a data store, in this case Redis, to an application running in a separate container. This environment has been configured with Docker client and daemon. The machine name Docker daemon is running on is called Docker. If you want to access any of the services, then use Docker instead of this 0000. Now I'm going to start the scenario. The first step is start Redis. The second step is create link to connect source continue to use to link. Here it's explain how links work. In this example, bring it will do two things in here. It mentioned first. The third step is connect to app. Here we are going to test the connection. Sending to the requesting Redis and return count. If you show the fourth step is connect to Redis CLI command line interface. In this scenario, we have explored how Docker links work and how you can connect and communicate between two containers. You can use the same approach to connect multiple containers together. Then we are moving to next scenario. This scenario explores how to create a Docker network allowing containers to communicate. We'll also explore the embedded DNS server added in Docker 1.10. Docker has two approaches to networking. The first defines a link between two containers. This link updates /etc/host and environment variable to allow containers to discover and communicate. The alternate approach is to create a Docker network that containers are connected to. The network has similar attributes to physical network, allowing containers to come and go more freely than when using links. Uh, Now we are going to start the scenario. It has 5 steps. The first step is create network. Network using the CLI. This to attach multiple containers which will be able to discover each other. Continue creating. To start with, we create the network with our predefined name. Docker network create one. Okay. Connect to network. When we launch new containers, we can use the second step is explore the connection. That is network connection is the second step. The third step is connect two containers. Docker supports multiple networks and containers being attached to more than one network at a time. Let's create a separate network with a Node.js application that communicates with our existing resources. first task is to create new network in the same way. When using the connect command, it is possible to attach existing containers to the network. When we launch the web server, units attached to the same network will be communicated with our Redis instance. The fourth step is create aliases. Hints are still supported when using Docker network and provide way to define alias in container's name. This will give the containers an extra DNS entry name and way to be discovered when using the embedded teams. Will guarantee that localized lookup result only on that container where the link is used. The other approach is to provide an alias when connecting a container to a network. Connect container with alias. The following when containers attempting to access a service via the name. Disconnect containers. The fifth step is disconnect containers. The PW can use device for details. The following command will list all the network on our host. We can then explore the network to see which containers are and the IP addresses. Uh, this scenario has explained how to use Docker networks. Docker networks provide a way to connect multiple containers together by using the embedded DNS server. They can all communicate with each other via well-known names and aliases. The our 10th scenario is The next one, it is persisting data using volumes. Using In this scenario, we'll learn how to use Docker volumes to persistent data within containers. Docker volume allow directions to be shared between containers and container versions. Docker volumes allows you to upgrade the containers, restart machines, and share data without data loss. This is essential when updating database or application versions. The first step is data volumes. Docker contain assigned when containers are started. Data volumes allows you to map host directory to contain for shared data. This mapping is same directory can be mounted to the second container. One usage is to have Docker container performing backup operation on your data. The second step is shared volumes. Data volumes mapped to the host are great for persisting data. However, the gain it error prone. An alternative approach is to use volumes from if the container attempting to modify data within the directory, it will error. Is it? Okay.